Negative oil prices equals big bailouts ahead. Is that going to be free gas? Well, no, we're going to talk about that. Jobless by choice. Many small businesses are being crushed because of the unemployment benefits that are being paid out. We'll get into that. The home building collapse and money becomes a joke. There's a Forbes article that talks about money becoming a joke. What does that mean? We're going to talk about that and more. Hey, everybody. JJ here, Bull to the Bus. It is Tuesday. Appreciate you joining in here. Quick channel update. Thank you to all my subscribers. We are up to 44,000 and counting subscribers and growing steady. Also want to thank all the new patrons that are supporting this channel. You do help keep this channel alive and help keep us afloat through the issues that many YouTubers and people like myself are having. So thank you very much for keeping us alive with your kind support. Let's get into today's report. So certainly this is continuing to be just historic times. Unprecedented things are occurring. We have negative oil prices. And actually yesterday I did my report from work and I saw the chart that it went negative, and I did not think the chart was reading correctly, so I didn't talk about it in yesterday's report. But I'm sure most of you that follow financial news know by now that there was an oil price plunge. And we saw the negative price in the futures contract. We saw $0 per barrel oil in physical oil. And basically it's an oversupply. It's drop off demand, oversupply. Drillers are packed to the hilt with inventory. They have no place to put it. The ships are full. The storage facilities are full. The docks are full. And there had been a point where they had to pay to get the barrels taken away to make room for the new oil that was being pumped. And from what I read, it's not very easy to stop an oil rig that's pumping oil. It's a very long process. So what they do is they just keep pumping because it's more expensive to shut down and put all these safety measures in place and things like that versus just keeping the pumps running. Right? Now, obviously, that's an oversimplified explanation of the cost of shutting down versus continuing to drill. But take a look at this article if you want to get any more information on that. But what's going to be happening now? Well, oil companies are going to be bailed out, and it's going to be a very polarizing event, as are all bailouts, in my opinion. We see a lot of different opposing views on bailouts in general because oil companies are going to be hurting. Actually, Trump's already out there directing Mnuchin, and yes, that's going to be another bailout for the oil industry amid plunging prices. Now, it's interesting when you look at some of the companies that are on the list of most likely to receive bailouts. We have Whiting Petroleum Corporation. Now, they became the first company to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy on April 1st. We have others including Chesapeake Energy Corp., Denbury Resources Incorporated, Callum Petroleum, and others that have hired debt advisors. So a lot of companies on the tip of filing for bankruptcy. Now, Whiting Petroleum, let's take a look into that company real quick. So interesting information here. This company that is filed for bankruptcy, their CEO makes $5.4 million a year. Actually not much compared to, let's say, Marathon Oil, whose CEO makes $18 million a year. And these companies heavily involved in stock buybacks over the past few years. So isn't it interesting is that when profits are coming in, that it's unlimited salaries available for the CEOs and executives. It's unlimited stock buybacks so the insiders can cash out and falsely inflate the profits there and the price of their stock. But when losses happen, then that turns into socialized losses. Therefore, the government comes in, they bail out these corporations, and we're likely going to see the government pick and choose winners and losers, and that is basically the basis of bailouts. The government then becomes the deciders, and they decide which companies are going to stay alive, which companies will fail, and the companies that do stay alive, oftentimes they come in and buy up these smaller companies, and we see mass wealth consolidation also in the business world, similar to the wealth transfer that we see here from the lower and the middle class, the working class, up to the top 1% and top 10%. So it's consolidation, government intervention, wealth transfer, all aspects in businesses. For individuals, the middle class continues to get more poor. The middle class, working class continues to get poor, continues to get wiped out. And the big guys grow their wealth. It's sad but true. This is the society that we're living in. Right? We have not had a free market. We have not had true capitalism in decades in this country, in the United States. And now we have already exceeded the bailouts and the stimulus that we saw during the 2008 financial crisis. And this thing is just getting started. Imagine where this is going to go. All these dollars being created, all these bailouts, all the stimulus. Many people had predicted hyperinflation, but it's not happening. We see supply and demand still the main driver of prices. With dropping oil prices, we're going to see home prices drop, especially if home lenders continue to pull back and tighten up on their lending. Now, if they start doing UBI where everyone gets basic income and then everyone has money to spend, and if we see the banks loosen lending, allowing more people to buy things they can't afford, then we're likely to see inflation and hyperinflation. And in this case, it's more than just a wealth transfer. This is a power transfer. You now have the government taking over entire industries, entire sectors, as far as what needs to be produced, what companies have to manufacture. They can force companies to manufacture certain items. We've seen that now with medical equipment. The Defense Production Act basically is a big takeover. It's government taking over the entire economy. The entire economy is now run by the government. Now, some people say it's good. Some people say it's bad. The people that say it's good, they say, well, look at what's happened over the past few decades where all of our jobs have been shipped overseas. And now they say this is going to help bring jobs back. Well, so how good or how bad it is depends on the people in charge. So you tell me in comments, please. I mean, what do you think about this? Is this bad? Or have things already been so bad with the outsourcing of our jobs that it couldn't really get much worse? Right? A lot of people are saying that. How much worse can it get? Well, if you've been following me in this channel, you know that I'm pretty much a fan of the free market and less government intervention. So you know my opinion. But change my mind, please, down in comments. Is this going to be good? I'd like to hear from you on that. Right. Also, no free gas. The refiners, they still have their process they have to go through, which is costly. They still have the shipping, point A from point B, out to the gas stations, who also need to make a profit. No free gas for you and me, but gas prices are super low. Guess that would be one bright spot in this whole mess here, this whole bailout, shutdown, economic collapse. All right, let's get into this. Jobless by choice. Small businesses, some of them anyways, are being crushed because some people are choosing to just sit home and make $600 a week in unemployment versus going to work. And companies that pay minimum wage or low wages, and companies that don't offer health insurance and have a lot of part-time workers, they are being hurt the most with this government intervention, with this stimulus money. A recent NPR article here. This is about a coffee shop who said that she simply could not pay her workers enough to compete with the $600 benefits, $600 a week benefits that are being offered to individuals, as individuals were making more sitting at home. And keep in mind, this $600 bonus was on top of the other regular unemployment benefits that these people are going to be receiving. So small businesses are not able to compete. They can't find workers, and they can't raise the wages enough and still make a profit to get workers to show up. And this is another thing that's going to make a lot of these small businesses just vanish and possibly never come back. We'll have to see. But right now things are looking very dire for small businesses. We also reported previously that small business loans have run out of money as we have the politicians fighting back and forth. But you notice when the politicians' pay increases, there's never a delay on that. The vote is always yes, because unlimited funds are available to fund the insiders. And now, recent report here out of CNBC, large companies are now taking loans that were meant for small businesses. And this was the Paycheck Protection Program, where they were gonna pay small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll and not lay them off. And this is turning into one big disaster after another. Next topic, home building collapses. Well, the sales drop off in homes has also got home builders on pause, and they're simply going to wait it out and see what happens in the housing market and this whole shutdown. And of course, it's going to bleed over into other parts of the economy. It's going to be a snowball effect or a domino effect. We're going to see huge job losses now in the building sector, construction jobs. That's going to bleed over into home improvement stores, real estate agents, furniture stores, you name it. And just over the past few weeks, there's been 22 million people filing for unemployment. I'm sure this week's going to be another just brutal number. I'm expecting anywhere from 5 to 7 million additional. And this shutdown now has seen home building tumble by the most in 36 years in March. Finally, money becomes a joke. Well, it's no laughing matter for people that are out of work right now and that are behind on their rents and their mortgages and can't afford food. But there's a Forbes article out, and what they're saying is that these multi-trillion-dollar bailouts, the stimulus checks, are making money a big joke. So people are looking at this and they're saying, what is the limit? Why can they just create unlimited amounts of currency? They can pump it wherever they want to. They can rescue corporations. But yet there's homeless people, and still there's poor people, people that can't afford food. There's poverty. Why is that when they can print money out of nothing? So the public is starting to wake up. But guess what? You cannot protest. You cannot rally against the bailouts or the banking system because of the shutdown. You might even be arrested. Now, we do see protests erupting in many different states over the shutdown and the lockdown orders that have been given by certain governors. Right? But it's all done in the safety of the people, is what I've been reading. But some people think it's government overreach. But the government says, no, we love you. Just stay at home. It's for your own good. Another divisive topic, of course, but money is becoming a big joke. Let's talk about this article a little bit. All right, so many people are waking up and they're beginning to realize that this is unlimited. People are starting to look more into the financial system and they're starting to ask more questions. Well, if you can give us $1,200 a month, why not $2,400? Why not $2,000? Why not $5,000? Why not permanent universal basic income? People are starting to look at the Andrew Yang model. And people are asking questions. Now, I don't think that's the solution, but I would rather see people get the bailouts versus corporations. Well, how's about this? How's about no bailouts for anybody? Corporations, people. How's about no government intervention? How's about people, if they can't find a job, they need to go out and find food themselves, or they need to grow food themselves. Maybe they'll have to hunt. Maybe they'll have to fish. Then you say, JJ, that's crazy talk. What about all these people that live in big cities? Well, maybe these people shouldn't be living in big cities. Maybe people should be moving to the country. And then people say, JJ, no, that's crazy talk. There's no jobs in the country. Well, there's no jobs in the city unless the government comes in and props this whole failed system up. Also, some people would say that there's a much bigger and darker agenda behind getting everyone packed into big cities and dependent on the government. So is it a big joke? Well, not for many people, but for the CEOs and politicians. A lot of them are laughing all the way to the bank. They've seen no change in their lifestyle. So the joke is on the people. That's you and me, as usual. All right, this is where we are. Could be headed for some rough roads, some dark times. The storm clouds are no longer coming. The storm clouds are here. They're over our heads, and it is raining and lightning and thunder. And I just hope everyone is well protected and keeping a roof over your head and staying well, most of all staying healthy and able to ride out this storm. Thanks for being here. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. The bailouts, the oil company rescues, it's going to be a big wealth transfer in my opinion. What do you think about that? What do you think about the small business rescue loans that actually may not help many businesses because they cannot compete with the unemployment benefits that are being offered with this bump up in the unemployment pay? Thanks everybody for being here. Bye for now.